Any side conversation, but I haven't given you guys a hard time about open meeting law in a long time. Any business, if you're talking about anything before the meeting, after the meeting, that could be an item on the agenda, that's a violation of open meeting law. Any conversation, side conversation at the dais can be reported to the Attorney General, and you can be fined at up to $500 per each instance. So if you whisper twice, that's $1,000 for the meeting. So basic rule is that all business of a public board needs to be held in the public, no side conversations, no secondary quorum, or no quorum where, you know, one person speaks to one person, speaks to the next person, speaks to the next person. That's also a quorum violation. So again, all business of the board should be held in public and in front of the audience.
I'd like to call the meeting of the Superior Planning and Zoning Commission to order. All stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Invocation. Dear Lord, please watch over the town of Superior and help it keep improving. Watch over for our police officers and firemen and everybody that works for the city and everybody that lives in town. Amen. Roll call. Henry Munoz is here. Hank Terrace. Here. Sherry Fedor.
Here.
Jess Garcia.
Here.
Matt Mashaw. And Joy Ellen is active. Is Gina still on the board or no?
No.
Okay. Presentation, oath of office for 4 newly appointed planning and zoning commissioners. There's only 2 of us here. 3?
So it's Sherry Fedor, David Gunn, and Matthew Mashaw.
It says 4.
Joy's not here.
Okay, Joy
So
2.
We'll
Okay.
do her next time.
Okay.
So do you want to step down?
Step out.
And we can read these all together where it says you'll say your name and then afterwards you'll sign it and I'll notarize it.
You ready? I, Matthew Mashaw, do solemnly swear
Victor, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the constitutional laws of the state of Arizona,
That I
that I
will
will
bear
bear
true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and
defend them against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge to the office of Planning and Zoning Commissioner, Town of Superior, according to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, please do sign that for us, and
Congratulations.
we'll get them notarized. Wash pencils back.
And hello, neighbor.
And I'm going to make
I missed the last one.
Yeah, there you go. Chairman, before we move on to the next section, I do need to advise you of a change to the open meeting law. If there's a unanimous vote, it's acceptable just to say yea and nay, but if there is a dissenting vote, then it has to be a roll call vote. Each individual member's vote has to be listed on the minutes of the meeting. So if if you say all in favor, say aye, and then all opposed, and one says nay, then you have to do a roll call vote for each person, so that we can note who voted nay. Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't just we automatically do the vote, that way for the record, we can see who voted which way? I mean, is that an issue,
Well, if you all vote unanimously, then she will list every
Well,
individual
I see.
as voting yea.
or?
The only reason it would be a question is if there's some dissenting vote, and we need to know who that dissenting vote is so we can list them.
Can I ask each member individually for the vote?
You can if you would like. You can-
Okay.
It's, the bare minimum is that if there is any dissent, we need to note
Okay.
who that is. This changes the state law, so we have to.
Okay, consent agenda, approval of August 2nd, 2018 regular meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes? Motion made by Hank Gutierrez to accept, Henry Munoz to accept the minutes. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Sherry Fedor. Hank, how do you vote?
You got a question?
Sure.
If I wasn't here for the minutes, for the meeting, Todd, I can't just, I don't know if these minutes are correct, what do I do, not vote?
You can abstain. Again, there will have to be a roll call vote.
Okay, I'll abstain.
Okay. Henry, how do you vote?
Yea.
Sherry?
Yes,
David?
Abstain, I was.
Okay. Hank, Jess?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carried to accept the minutes by Planning and Zoning Commission. Yea by Henry Munoz, Hank Gutierrez abstain, Sherry Fedor, a yes. Jess Garcia, a yes. David Guy, an abstain, and yea from Ryan. New business, discussion of letter of concern from resident at 727 West Simpson Street.
You all have the letter in front of you. Ms. Morgan, would you like to address the committee?
First of all, have they read the letter?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know where Simpson Street is?
Yes.
All right. Well, the front of my house is on Simpson. The back has an alley, but the alley also is so bad that my car drags, unless you have a truck, the bottom of my car hits the pavement. And so, and if anybody's coming to my house, including me, we park in front, where there's a gate and you walk to the entrance. And it's extremely dangerous. I measured the pavement approximately, and it was 10 feet wide. I don't know, that's just what my little measuring thing, approximately. And so two cars, even if they come on there, it's very, and there's trailers, they're using it as a frontage road. They're coming off of Belmont or Western and using it to get on the 60. And so I'm at a loss what to do. It's very dangerous for me to even park and get out of my car. And so that's the reason I'm asking for what in the world can we do about it? I would like the street closed, but I imagine that that somebody's gonna have to get on the 60, so they're gonna have to go on Valentine or someplace. But I did notice, and I don't know, Kaiser's closed between Stone and Church.
That's because of the departure angle onto the highway. It's too narrow an angle to make a left turn, so they are limited at the entrance because
Okay.
it doesn't meet the federal federal.
I didn't know, I just saw the blockage there. So I would like the street to be closed. The other two houses that have land, they have access to Western and to Belmont. I'm the one that is sitting there in the middle on Simpson. And it is extremely dangerous. So I don't know what to do. And I've asked about a speed bump, or at the very minimum, one way. But still, there are businesses there. It's right behind Farmers Market and the other two businesses. And I'm even afraid to put my mailbox up. So that's the purpose of my discussion.
I've had Daryl from Wodan go out and look at the situation. Anthony's looked at the situation. I'd love to hear their ideas on how we correct it. The issue that creates this problem, and probably the biggest complicating factor, is the fact that Belmont's no longer a double left. So the only access to the highway is off Western. So this is the access from Belmont to Western. The other access is Valentine, which is up about a quarter mile. And so in order to get from Belmont to Western, you'd have to go a quarter mile and turn around and come back. So it does have lots of traffic complications. The easement through here is 30 feet wide. The pavement is degraded on both sides and it's never been built up to the full extent of the easement, so that might be a correction. Fixing the alley might be a possibility. If you go in and put millings in and compact them and get that alley in good shape. As far as speed bumps, the town cannot put in nor can it pay for speed bumps. In order for a speed bump to go in, it would have to be paid for by an organization of the community members. So if all the property owners on that street get together and say, we want a speed bump, they can bring it back, you guys can approve it, they have to pay for the work. One way, the question is which way are you going to make it one way? Is it going to be so that it's easy to get on the highway from Belmont, or is it going to be easy to get on to Belmont from Belmont from the highway? Those are the two choices. But as far as what the solution is, I'd like to get Anthony up to talk, and like Will and Daryl to look at it, and I would like to hear what they have to say on the issue.
So the question, I have a question, just like my assumption, the traffic pattern is using your street to go west, not go east. Is that correct?
They go both ways,
Well,
but more west.
More west as opposed to going east, because
They
there's
do
no,
go east also.
yeah, but there's no left at Belmont and the 60, due to our wondrous ADOT engineers. Okay.
Anthony?
Well, the biggest solution, the quickest solution would be just to address the alley in the back, get that into a more usable state of where she can use it and get in and out of her property, you know. Plus, right now, they're doing the gas line and everything else, so we really can't address anything at this time till they fix all the infrastructure on that road. But again, we can widen that road, put some better pavement on the edges, because the edges have, like all the other shoulders in town, just deteriorated from lack of maintenance. But there's not really a good answer to a one-way, because a lot of people still haven't gotten used to the fact that you're gonna cut me off on one way and somebody's gonna be coming and they get upset. High School Avenue's been like that for I don't know how many years, and they still get confused and go down High School Avenue anyways in front of the post office. And I've had numerous complaints. They do have signage and everything, and they still don't care, and they still use it as two-way traffic road. So it's not really an answer as to try to say it's just gonna be a one-way, because people are gonna be people and they don't really use that as a way to say, hey, I have to do what I have to do to get onto the highway and go the direction I need to go. So I still say maybe that the alley is the best solution for short term, and see how that does for her and make sure that things are progressing in a better manner, and say we'll try to keep a better maintenance on the alley. Problem is nobody's ever lived in that house for very long, and that the situation of anybody complaining has never come up. That would be the best answer for a short term.
You know, I kind of look at it, even if you made it a one-way, you're just moving traffic to a different street. You're gonna move further south to like Valentine.
Valentine's in even worse shape.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And as far as the alley's concerned, if you put this millings on there, if you made it one-way, made it millings, I think that even though it improves it for you to access, without, reducing that bump, maybe making it even when you get your parking from the backside, is that possible from the backside of your house?
If the alley is.
Well, if that was repaired, I mean.
Yes, it'd have to be, because both ends of the alley.
Yeah,
And
so,
probably, yes, I could go into the back, but the way it is now, in the front, it's very dangerous.
well, let's just make the assumption that alley was repaired to some degree to allow you to go either on either side.
You have to have a truck if you're gonna drive in the alley right now.
Now, if it was repaired to get your car in there, let's just assume,
Well, that would be,
let's just go that route first, okay?
Yes.
That was fixed to get there, Anthony. But we don't wanna make that another thoroughway because it's gonna be just millings, so we'd almost have to make it a private drive,
the alley,
the alley.
I don't think most people would go down that alley.
Be surprised.
There's only one, what we could do is make sure to fix it only from one end. There is a tree running across the end of the other end, as far as I remember. So if we fixed it into the backside, it used to be a passable road. When the previous homeowner, I took him to the hospital from that house, and we drove the ambulance to the backside of that house. It used to be in much better shape. It is fixable. So I think that the alley is a very serviceable solution. We leave the one end blocked off so it doesn't become a thoroughfare. And I do think we do need to widen Simpson, but again, we'll have to wait till Southwest Gas is done, because they've got it totally ripped up right now. Hopefully they'll be improving it, and then we can go in with some more asphalt, make it wider. If you look at the verge between the back of the auto shop there, the garage, it's about 4 feet, and it's just grass. It's just a maintenance problem for Anthony. If you went in and put asphalt all the way to that fence, it would probably solve a lot of maintenance problems for us, and it would widen the street. If you're on the other end, you could probably widen another good 6 feet. 2 cars can pass on that road, but it's not simple, it's not easy. So usually everybody slows down and dodges. So if we did that, we could put 2 actual full lanes in with the line down the middle.
It's a little bit of an issue with behind the farmer's market because of that ditch. And there is a little bit of a space between the farmer's market and the road because of the way they have there's like more or less like just a berm there. There's not no wall or anything there to actually make the road the actual size, but it's still doable.
So Anthony, what would it take to level that out with the millions? I mean, is that a whole lot of work to do that?
No, not necessarily. We've got the equipment to do it now. We got the bulldozer to cut a little bit and fill, and then maybe even, we have to, we could put a little bit more of a sealer on that asphalt, so, or the millings to keep it from washing any
That
more.
was my next question, drainage.
So we could do something to keep it from washing.
With that drainage, does it flow west, the drainage?
Personally, I haven't seen it
It would-
during rain season or anything, because again, it's hardly ever an issue until now.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if we do that and we, for collecting, moving water downstream to whoever's downstream, especially on that business on the corner, or the house that's there, I wonder if that would present an issue.
Well, I was gonna be addressing all the shoulders on Western anyways, because of the problem of drainage and everything, even after, but right now, again, I'm waiting on infrastructure with gas, be prepared. Then I'm gonna address all the shoulders and water issues after that.
The plan for the seal coat we did on Main Street, the plan is next to do Canal and then, and Copper. And then the next project after that is gonna be Western Belmont Stone. So they're all due hopefully before the beginning of next fiscal year, but, you know, it's somewhere in the next year or so that we're gonna get all of those roads fixed. Hopefully Gibbs as well and the major cross-through streets they're using, so.
I would think, because I drove that, I do exactly what you said. I do exactly what you said. And you're right, it's very narrow. I think at the minimum, somewhere down the road, we may put a sign on each end saying, caution, narrow road. Caution, narrow road pedestrians or whatever. And maybe make it no parking on that road at all. If we fix your alley.
I wouldn't want that because the front entrance of my house is.
Oh, I understand that, but you said it was dangerous, so.
Well, but
Yeah,
I don't leave my car out in
Yeah.
front.
Yeah, because it's gonna be different, though, if we made it a one-way, even thought about it, it just moves the problem around to a different street, I guess that's what I'm saying. That's just my thought.
Well, I talked to the police when I first bought that house and they said I had a right to park in front of my house.
Oh, I'm not saying you don't,
You know,
yeah,
I have a right to park there.
yeah, just looking for solutions.
Yes, and for me personally, yes, the alley would be a solution.
Yeah,
But for people coming to my house, they still are coming to the front of my house.
park at your own risk.
But I do think a sign would be helpful on
Yeah.
Simpson, like slow or something, because people get going on it. You
Yeah.
wouldn't think they could do it, but they do. And they're pulling trailers and everything on it.
You know, you realize that is public parking in the front of your house on that street, correct?
Yes,
So anybody can park there.
yes.
Especially when they have big things going on in those remotes.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not objecting to that.
Okay,
I'm just objecting to me trying to get out of my car
yeah,
and people mad at me because I'm going into my own house.
yeah. So doing the alley, would that be something you would use?
Yes, I would use it, but I still want access to the front of my house.
Yes, yes.
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
Question, did I understand you correctly to say that the right-of-way was 30 feet on Simpson?
I don't think so,
Daryl's got the numbers here, so.
because the buildings are, we're all
Remember
sitting
you
right
said it's
there.
only 10 feet. It's
Daryl
10.
has the plan.
What's the actual right-of-way there?
Well, what it really is, because we do different things.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
very,
no, no.
buildings there.
People quite often build out over the road, so that's not a surprise, but.
You mean that encroachment?
Because
I don't think we're
my
gonna knock
house,
a house down, that's just.
my house and the other houses all have the same, when you drive there, the one on Western and then the Hernandez house, we all have the same
I think
line.
it's 40 feet, it's a narrower right away.
You said the pay variance on the 10 feet.
It's so narrow there, you've got these
Yeah,
big
I know.
farmers
I
market
mean,
in
you've
there.
got- But I believe it's 40 feet, just because they looked at it, and it's more narrower than the normal 50-foot right of ways.
The farmer's market is not against their property, the building's not to the property line.
No.
So there's an easement, not an easement, but there's setback a little bit.
I would still like it one way. I think that would slow things down a bit.
Yeah, but that problem moves to somewhere else, I guess what I'm
Well,
saying.
I
2 15-foot
Because
lane.
if we made it a one-way going west.
It is
people
a
that
30-foot easement.
I don't,
At 30. Well, apparently it's officially 30.
you
It's
can
probably
turn,
30,
you're
but
coming
some
the
of
other
it
way,
falls
you can
away,
turn on
so.
Belmont.
I'm sorry?
When you're coming from the west, you can turn on Belmont.
No, but what I'm saying, now you can make the turn, but you're gonna, that traffic, if it's a one-way on your street going west, the traffic coming off 60 that wants to get to Belmont is gonna have to go to Valentine.
No, they can come off of the 60
That's what I'm saying, they're gonna come off the 60 going
and
east.
get on Belmont.
Yeah, but, okay, so if I turn off, I'm going east on 60.
You can get on Belmont.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
If you're going
I was
west,
thinking- I
if
was
you're
thinking
going
the-
west on 60, you
I was
turn
thinking the
off
other
on
way
the
around.
only exit you can.
The other way around.
Yeah,
Just
but I
Belmont.
mean, somebody coming from the west can get on Belmont just by going off the 60.
Yeah,
The problem is people on Belmont trying to go east on the 60.
Or people coming from Globe and getting off on Belmont and then turning into Belmont and then trying to get to Western. They can do a flip a U and on the highway and go up the highway, but that's not most people's first instinct.
so if I wanted to go west, coming off of Belmont, and you're a one-way,
That's not a problem then for somebody coming off Belmont. They
No.
just make it one way going west.
oh, one-way, not east for you, okay.
But I would like that,
Going west, east, I mean west as
Yeah,
opposed to
yeah.
east. Yeah.
because the other direction you can get on Belmont.
But okay, I'm just thinking this through, because this is the first time I've seen this.
No, I know,
So let me walk this through, so okay, got it,
yeah.
I got it.
I got a question for you. Have you talked to the other residents that
There's
are
only
impacted?
the one resident on Simpson is the Hernandez house on
Belmont?
Belmont.
Uh-huh.
The other house is on Western.
Okay, so they,
I
have you talked to them as far as,
I have
how they-
talked, I have talked to the son of, I have not met Mrs. Hernandez.
okay,
And I told him, they had no problem. We're the only two on Simpson.
you and who else?
Hernandez.
Okay. But you haven't talked to Hernandez as far as how they feel about it?
Just the son who takes care of the house for his mother.
Okay. But they have easy access,
They can
On
get on
Belmont.
Belmont. They've got access on Belmont. I'm the one sitting in the
they
middle.
probably go through Simpson just to go,
No,
get
no,
on
they have
60.
no, they can get on Belmont really easily.
like, that's what I was
Yeah.
asking, whether all the other residents.
No, they both, and the people behind me are on Western,
Mhm.
and they have access to Western. The house directly behind my house,
Right,
it's a Western.
yeah.
Don, from a traffic pattern, just for the sake of discussion, do you see any issue is it possible if you just do a test on doing one-way west? Or is that, once you do it, you're done with it?
I don't know that we can do it temporary, that'd be a Darrell question.
It's probably an alternative to the solution, but can I ask a question? Your main concern is you can't turn into your house, into the driveway, or you can't park in front of your driveway?
I can't get into my house off of Simpson because of the danger of it all. And the alley is so bad that it scrapes the bottom of my car.
Okay.
And even so, somebody coming to my house comes to the front. And that's why I would like a one-way. Because it's dangerous, even without me, the two coming together. And I guess realistically, I'd like two things. I'd like the alley so I could use it and not use the front, but I want access to the front of my house.
So, as far as, other than your guests, other than, just not talking about visitors, just talk about you. If we left it that way and fixed the alley, would that help?
It would help,
So,
but it's still a problem because people are going to come to the front of the house.
yeah, I understand that, but that's public.
It would help me, yes,
Yeah,
if I
that's
could
public,
get in my
that's,
house,
you
yes.
know, I guess, we're not really here to accommodate the street, I mean, your guests, we're looking at traffic flow.
Yeah,
And
I think it's,
I understand it's dangerous.
yeah. Well, if you've been down there, you
Well,
know it's dangerous.
yeah, I used to walk up and down that street quite a bit and then start driving down it, so. I guess, I kind of hear you saying you want that, well, my guests that park there.
I would like to have a one-way street.
You gotta try the street on Highlands Drive.
Yeah.
That's a one-way when everybody's parked there.
If you're asking me what I would like more than the other, I want the front of my house to be able to, I want a one-way street.
Can I make a suggestion then? Being we can't do anything now, there's construction, of course, it's been, your pavement's been narrowed, and which has probably caused some of the problem right now. When they're done, and we get a 16-foot pavement in there, that's more than practical for two-way traffic. So, and that's probably doable, and we'll look into that probably, if we could. And once that happens, let's see how that works out, if it takes the danger away from you
It's
getting
not
out of
gonna
your
take
car.
the danger away.
But this has been going on for years and years.
What does that mean to me?
Well, I
That means
mean,
nothing to me, it's been going on for years.
it's a platted road, and it's
Good
been there, you know.
A person
Right.
has a right to get into their house.
Well, no, I'm not saying that you don't have the right to get into your house, but I'm just saying as a suggestion, just let it get improved, let's get it back to where it is, and then see how that works out for it. Clean the alley would be another option to go along with
The
that.
front of my house, the pavement is not a problem for me. It's a problem for the two cars that are going that
But-
way on them.
That road's been like that since I started driving in the mid-70s. It's always been a narrow road.
Yes, I don't care about it being narrow. I want it one way, so I can park in front.
Do you have a driveway access from the front?
No,
There's no driveway? Was it blocked off at one time, or was access always in the back?
I have no idea. That house has been there
Do you
a
know,
long time.
Pam, if it was ever had?
I've never seen it where there was access from the front. It was always in the back.
It's always been to the back?
At least any time I've had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So, what I think Darrell was trying to suggest is that in the short term, the town fixes the alley. We wait for the construction to finish and then do some improvements to the road and then revisit the issue. Not saying we're not gonna take further action, but let's revisit it after we get it to a more stable state. Right now, it's such in disarray, it's hard to see a path forward that is reasonable. So, with the street ripped up by Southwest Gas, with the fact it's been narrowed by maintenance neglect for 20, 30 years, I think that it's hard to tell how it would work if we did it right. So let's do it right and then come back to this board with a follow-up.
Just from a personal point of view, Ms. Morgan, is that, I mentioned where I live on Highlands.
Yes,
If you go there on the weekend, there's during the day, there's two-way traffic. During the weekend, one way, which is just a courtesy. If you see somebody coming, you have to pull to the side because only one vehicle can go through this road. So my guests are doing the same thing that you're dealing with. So this is not unique to you in Superior. This is because the way Superior designed, the way it was laid out, people only had one buggy or one car, and that's the way it was. So these are the kind of things we're gonna have to deal with because nowadays, people come to visit more often, families have more kids, so.
It's not unique to us either. You know, you look at Bisbee, all the old mining towns are like this. They're
Yeah.
laid out before cars. If you look at this, the plat map for this community, it doesn't even have a US 60. Simpson's in the middle of this with no US 60.
Yeah.
So it wasn't laid out with highways in mind. It wasn't laid out with pavement in mind.
Yeah,
So, and there are some neighborhoods in town that weren't even laid out with streets in mind. They had to be brought in later with easements. So, it's an ongoing problem. We ought to be open to creative solutions, and I think that the first step would be, let's fix it, because it's in such poor shape right now. It's hard to tell how it would be creative to fix it.
including the alley,
well, it was fine before the medians got put in and then the highway.
yeah.
There wouldn't have been a problem until that thing was put in.
That created a lot of
It's
problems.
created a whole
Yeah,
problem.
and we talked to ADOT about that, they would not listen to us, so that's kind of. Anthony?
But yeah, there's like, Stansbury, for instance, has probably 8 residents have the same issue as Simpson does, and they all have to, I noticed one resident had to even park, their yard so they could park in front of their access of their home, to get access in and out of their home, because Stansbury is such a narrow road. It's probably even more narrow than Simpson is. And Stansbury goes through a bigger, quite a bit bigger section of town than just the short distance of Simpson. There's a number of streets I'm still trying to address for the same issues of trying to say shoulders and everything else have just eroded for water and traffic and lack of maintenance. But it's gonna take a couple of years before we get all the roads back up to where they need to get. And it's not gonna be an easy fix for anybody, and especially me, because of the neglect.
But Anthony, I'm not complaining as a resident of the narrowness of Simpson. That is totally not what I'm complaining about. I'm complaining about it being two-way, even if you widened it.
No, I totally understand that.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about the road.
Well, if it's wide enough, then the argument for one-way becomes less impressive, because if you look at other streets in town that are wide enough that have two-way traffic, that's not an issue. The problem is it's a narrow road, and that's why you're asking for one-way. If we widen it and it works, it may not need to be one-way. One of the other issues we could look at doing is lowering the speed limit on that street. We could drop it to 15 miles an hour, put signs up. We could, there's other ways we can address this issue. But, I mean, whatever the Planning and Zoning Commission directs us to work on, we'll work on and bring back as a completed plan. We're not asking for you to approve anything right now, we're asking for direction as to what you would like to see as a complete.
I would say first, improve the alley there, see that situation addressed.
I think that would probably be number one. Number two is signage, with caution, narrow road, until it's repaired, because we don't know the timeline. Once we get it adjusted to the width, that might change anything. But number one, definitely the alley. Secondly, we need signage on both ends, caution, narrow road. And then the road is gonna have to be at its own, whatever timeline that is. After the gas is done,
Anthony, is the alley blocked on the east side or the west side of the
Tree.
Tree.
On the Belmont side, there's a tree.
Is there?
That would be the east side.
yeah, gotta leave that up there.
It's not completely blocked, but it's,
I drove through there.
Yeah, I drive through there.
it is intruding into the alley a little bit.
And we could increase the blockage if we wanted to. If we only want it to be one way, that's an option. If two ways works and we don't think there's gonna be a lot of local traffic in there because nobody even knows it's there, that we can leave it open. So, whatever you think is appropriate, we'll work on.
That won't take long for people to find it, that it's improved. What's the right of way on the alley? And is that
That's a
totally
town alley.
town-owned?
It's a town alley.
Okay, and it's how wide?
20, I believe.
20?
Yeah. Alleys are really 20.
Mr. Gordon, don't you have a very sharp drop-off? Is there going to be a drainage problem if that alley is paved?
What's that?
The back end of your lot?
I don't know.
I thought there was like a sharp.
No,
Oh,
I don't know.
We're not gonna be raising the level significantly. It'll be probably 3 inches of millings. And, we've got that loader, it goes in really fast. We've got a roller compactor now, so we roll it in, so it's nice and hard. And then if we wanted to oil it so it stayed, we could do that as well. We've done that for the alley, one and a half block that direction, and it's held up better than anything we've done anywhere else in town.
yeah, it works well.
Mrs. Morgan, did you provide us with all this?
What, I wrote the letter is all.
Oh, the documentation came,
But
1936, on this.
That's the original plat for that neighborhood, yes.
Holy cow.
That's why there's no US 60.
No US 60.
Never been replatted. Nope.
Ours, 15 feet wide.
So where do we go from here, Todd?
The board can give us some direction on what you would like to see us develop. This is not a decision item, but we will accept direction if you tell us areas you would like us to direct, and when you would like us to bring back a completed plan.
And ask Anthony,
Yes, sir.
if If you had a green light from the manager to work on that alley, how long would that take to address within your busy schedule?
Well, I would address it rather quickly within the next 10 days or so.
How about before our next meeting?
All right, we'll start with the alley. As soon as we can get Southwest Gas out of there, we will widen it. Southwest Gas has been not exactly rushing to repave it, repair the pavement. We're working with them on that, but Western's been open like that for 2 months now. So it's due for repair.
I did talk to them today, they are nearing completion of that area. There's a few more items they need to get done, but they should probably, it'd be close to being probably done by the time the next meeting comes around.
I think the alley, the signage, and what I'd like personally to do is maybe go out with Anthony and walk that street during the day. And just, even though I know what it looks like, but you look at it through different eyes, and I just drove for it the other day just to see what was going on. So, if you don't mind, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm available.
Yeah.
Well, another factor too is so many people are used to that and not being able to get used to the highway. The old habits are hard to break. And I've caught myself at the same time. Now I try to go down to the next street and cut up to Western. I mean to Belmont.
I'm getting a lot of complaints about that too.
Which street are you?
Belmont?
Valentine.
Valentine?
Valentine.
Yeah, Valentine.
No,
Valentine
that's
or
what
the
I
next street
do.
down.
That's a treacherous drive to.
Well,
Because you can't see the oncoming traffic either way.
Yeah,
that's
Because
treacherous.
that's the worst deal.
And it's
You've
an
got
option.
no visual on that road.
And the problem with all these old roads, because the asphalt has so little cohesion left, that any road that goes up a hill and has a garbage truck that goes up, it is just disintegrating faster than we can patch it. If you look at Hill Street at Church, we patched that a half a dozen times, and every time we put a patch in, the road above it disappears. It's just wherever the garbage trucks are digging and turning, going up the hill, it just destroys the road.
Ms. Morgan, how long have you owned the home?
I lived in Superior like 6 years, but I bought that house July 1st.
Just past July? Okay.
It had been vandalized, and it's being worked on now.
So you had a level of awareness about those conditions when you purchased the home?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But I didn't realize the traffic was going both ways.
Oh, okay,
I was in Washington State when I bought that house.
okay.
So is that house occupied now?
Well, I probably will be moving into it in a couple of weeks,
Okay.
at the latest.
Okay.
It's still being
So,
renovated because the wiring was cut in it.
so it's just a recent, thing that's, since you come up here and tried to fix it up and stuff like that, you've noticed, it's a.
I wasn't here when the median was put in.
Oh,
I lived on Palo Verde,
okay.
and I always admired this house. It's adobe,
Oh,
and
yes.
it's old, and I always liked it. And so I bought it without coming back to Superior. I knew the road, but I did not realize what I'm saying is, I knew they were coming off of Belmont, because I was told about the meeting, but I did not realize that we got both of these.
Traffic on that road used to be much higher when Circle K was there,
Yeah,
everybody would go to
yeah,
Circle
Circle
K.
K.
I lived down there, wasn't higher.
And I think the double median, just to explain why the double medians, why the median's there is, when they're doing the layout, this is done with federal money, it has to follow federal traffic rules. So the medians are a federal rule. They have to be 300 feet apart. So if they had moved it up to Belmont, they would not have been able to have the exit at Church, and there would have been one double left in the entire town. So they moved it down to Western so that we could have 2 double lefts. It's not an ideal solution. I'm told that some communities wait till the Fed money runs out and they get the medians removed. That is an option, but by then maybe the town will be used to it, I don't know. It is, but ADOT is not willing to consider any other solution. they describe it as intentionally inconvenient, because it's supposed to improve safety.
It sounds like government, huh? Intentionally inconvenient. Well, we don't plan this stuff?
Well, I'd say let's improve the alley first. Is everybody in agreement on that? Do we have to take a vote on this, or it's just?
It's not a decision item, we're just asking for direction.
Okay.
We will bring, if something requires formal, full approval, we'll bring it back
Okay.
to you in an approvable form.
And I looked maybe some speed signs, temporary speed signs, slow the traffic down at this time in Narrow Road or something, so we can, till that road gets improved and they're done with their gas work and all that stuff.
Would it be a speed sign, or would you just say slow or caution?
Narrow road,
Narrow road.
just the informational, cautionary, yeah.
Because that would help a little bit if there's somebody parked in front.
Because even if it became a one-way, it's not this, the issue won't go away. If there's a car parked right there in front of the house, now there's only enough room for, a very small car to get by. So it would be just something that would have to be looked at further.
All right, well, we'll do that, and then we will bring back, we'll wait till the project's done, and then we'll do some more measurements, maybe some sketches, and bring them back for approval. Of
Okay.
the actual road.
Okay,
No, I appreciate you all helping me with this problem. I really do
thank
appreciate
you
it.
for bringing it to our attention. Next, call the public. Anybody? Okay. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn?
I second.
Motion made by Hank, seconded by Jess. Henry, how do you approve?
Yep.
Henry approved. Hank?
Approved.
Hank Gutierrez approved. Sherry approved. David?
Aye.
David approved. Jess?
Aye.
Matt approved. All in favor? Adjourn the planning and zoning meeting.
All right, then. All right, so